Isn't it fascinating? This week, Launchcoin was one of the best performers, but today it tends to be one of the worst. What's going on? Are the whales suddenly starting to sell, or is there potentially a deleveraging happening? Let's have a look at the data, the on-chain data most people are not considering. Now, here's Launchcoin's performance this week. It has beaten everything by a long shot. But suddenly, today doesn't look that great anymore. What is happening? Has the momentum died? Does it make sense to sell now? Now, here's the chart this week, and here's the chart this month. And I've already published a video on Launchcoin recently, and that video did outperform the average video. But I was actually surprised how little it outperformed. Only by 29%. Again, while this was the performance. So that raises question marks, right? When the performance is that positive, but the overall attention on the token isn't really that high, who's buying? Now, most trading volume happens on chain, on Radium. The token does get offered on centralized exchanges as well, but still most volume happens directly on Solana. There are bets on the price as well, and that's led by Bybit and MEXC. But there's also Hyperliquid, by the way, my favorite perpetual futures platform. Now, the trading with the bets on the price, the perpetual futures has just started. That's probably going to fuel the next rally from here. So this is coinglass.com. We see the Launchcoin price in yellow and the open interest in green. So yes, it seems like there is some profit taking happening, but the perpetual futures are not the reason for that. The open interest continues to go up. Leverage is definitely not exiting the market. The open interest is also rather balanced, at least according to CoinGlass, if you look at the exchanges where Launchcoin perps are offered. Now, the token is currently at number 13 in terms of its liquidity pool size across the trending tokens on the Solana chain. There's 1.8 million of liquidity, while the trading volume was 74 million. Now, the liquidity pool providers made a lot of fee revenue with this. Now, I'm not sure how often the CoinGlass funding rates get updated, because directly on Hyperliquid, the annualized funding rate is at 200%. It's currently extremely expensive to bet on Hyperliquid. There's a lot of demand to lever up this price, so to get exposure to rising prices. Very few people want to bet on falling prices. Everybody just bets long. And so the big question is, will the big players of this world enter with offering perpetual futures on the token? If yes, if Binance enters with perps, I'd be worried about those kind of funding rates, because usually the big market makers move the price in the opposite direction of the funding rates. If a lot of people bet on rising prices, they dump the token. When a lot of people bet on falling prices, they push up the token. They initiate a short squeeze. If that is true for a decentralized perp platform is the big question. Clearly, the market believes that the price is going up from here. Now, the on-chain metrics also suggest a rather healthy rally despite the recent correction. What we see over here is the number of first-time traders versus recurring traders per day. And especially in the last 4 days, we saw a lot of new first-time traders entering. Now, we can ignore the latest data point because today has just started. Now, on the right side, we see the number of token transactions. That's also growing. Also, no surprise over here. This can have two reasons. It could be arbitrage bots that now trade against the different perp exchanges, but it could also just be general interest in the token. The trading volume is definitely catching up again. So on the left side, we've got the trading volume in US dollars, and on the right side, we've got this normalized to 100% per day. When times were quiet, small retail was trading the token more. Now it's the bigger wallets that enter again and move the market. Here we've got the number of retail investors versus whale investors differentiated by minimum holding within the wallet. So all the wallets on the left have at least 5,000 tokens. All the wallets in the middle have 50,000 tokens. All wallets on the right have 500,000 tokens. And yes, all wallet cohorts accumulate, but the number of whales, relatively speaking, grew the fastest. They are now close to all-time highs. Small retail is still catching up. The percent ownership of the token by the whales has clearly grown though. And so this makes me believe that Launchcoin is likely also going to get offered on other centralized exchanges at some point. This is likely also market maker accumulation. And so within the Solana meme coin ecosystem, the market cap with 200 million isn't really that large. We could easily double from here, go to 400. We could also quadruple from here, getting to 800. After that, the air is getting somewhat thin. So speculating on a Launchcoin price of $1 is probably quite risky, but you can easily go to 50 cents without any problem while the market makers continue buying. Yes, Launchcoin doesn't have a great day today, but that's in the nature of things when tokens go up that quickly, right? People do take profit. Today, we actually saw slightly more buyers than sellers of the token on chain. The price only went down because the sellers tended to move higher amounts. That makes sense, right? If you just bought a few days ago, and you're taking profit, you're likely going to do this with larger amounts than what you typically would invest when you're just buying today. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. So that means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average, we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen. But of course, you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing. All kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the Hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least of the members, takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 US per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you're still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.